Hi, everyone. Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. We are live tonight on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Hi, come on in. I see you guys come in. Hi, welcome. I'm Christy-Faith. I am here tonight to answer homeschooling questions for you. Welcome. Come on in, you guys. Please come in. Hello. I would love to know how you're doing tonight. I want to hear about any homeschool wins you have had this week. Please let me know what went really well. Please share. Also, if you have any questions or struggles at all, look at these flyaways up here. That's like insane. Then please let me know that too. I heard that if you do like a lip gloss, I've heard that lip gloss helps. Does that help with those little flyaway things? I think it kind of just did. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, come on in, everybody. I see. Wow, a lot of people. Welcome. Come on in. I'm here to talk about anything homeschooling. So please come on in. My name is Christy-Faith. I am a 20-year educator turned homeschool advocate and mentor. I spent my entire career supporting the educational system, and then about a little over 10 years ago, I had an awakening, and I started to question the system and what it was doing. I was making my living off of supporting it, and I kind of had an awakening and then a deconstruction, and we decided to go the route of home education for our own family. And it is a wonderful, wonderful choice. Welcome. Come on, everybody. Come on in. There's a ton of people here. Wow. Hi. Come on in. Ask your homeschooling questions. Will you please share your homeschooling wins? I want to start the night just on a really positive note. Please do. Please come on in and share any joys or wins that you have had this week. There was a gal in my community. I don't know if you're here tonight, but she was the one that was like, I love starting meetings with wins. So yeah. Oh, wow. We already have questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dallas Brothers. Hi.
Hi.
We homeschool. How do you get out of the public school mindset?
Yeah.
You're doing first grade.
Yes. That is so hard. This person is asking, they're homeschooling, how do you get out of the public school mindset? And my answer to you is, it's actually really difficult. The process in the homeschool culture is called deschooling, which is the process of getting that, reframing our minds to what an education actually is. But here's the issue. If I can get philosophical for a second, I'm going over this in my book as well. I don't know if you guys know that I am currently writing a book. Yay. And it's super exciting. And I am having a whole section on this. So basically, for the last 150 years, we have been taught under a progressive model of education. We were taught under this model, and we don't really know anyone who's lived long enough to share what it was like to not be taught under this progressive model. What you do need to realize, though, is before about 150 years ago, no one was taught in this way. Education was not viewed as it is now, where it's more of a transference of information, and then the child is then to regurgitate and given grades, for example. So that is all new. It is a system of rewards. It's a system of sorting. It's a system of kids comparing themselves to one another. And it's a system of conformity, where you will find the most success in the system if you conform to it. And I just say no. I say no. Every single child is an individual. It has different strengths and weaknesses. They don't need to be labeled. They don't really need to be given grades, especially in home education. I know if my kid can spell those words. I don't need to give him a spelling test every Friday, right? You do in a classroom because you need to know how the kids are doing. But when you're homeschooling, you don't. So anyway, it's something that we are actively working on in my community. That is part of what we're doing in there. We're doing two things in there. We're doing the practical help. My kids are fighting. What do? I have 8 loads of laundry. How do I homeschool and keep my house clean? How do I work and homeschool? How do I, meal prepping, like all that stuff, the practical help we do in that group in my community. The link is in my bio. But equally important, and no one else is doing this that I know of, is we're also working on this heart and mind help as well, which is that deschooling, discussions, asking ourselves the worthy questions. Because particularly with my founding members, I do not view them as just members in my group. I am viewing my founding members as the future leaders in their local homeschool spheres and beyond. And I view it as a training, because it's only when we can really work on the deschooling of our hearts and minds and getting ourselves out of that and off of that hamster wheel and truly believe it, that's when we're free. That's when we no longer question, am I ruining my kid? What's the right curriculum? All that panic, all that self-doubt, all that questioning. That is, if we can work through that together, which it does not happen overnight, it's an ongoing conversation, then we are on the road to freedom, which is really cool. So we are spearheading a revolution in education. Up until now, homeschooling has not really been viewed as this revolution, and it really is. And that's something I think why the publishers were interested in. They approached me and said, okay, your voice this is new. This is new. We think our country needs your voice in a book. And so then we kind of worked out what that book is going to be. And I'm so excited. It's coming out in 2024. So it's not like you can sign up for a pre-sale or anything. But yes. Do we have any other questions? I have coffee. I have water. Don't report me. I also have this. What do you have?
Hi.
Tell me what you have tonight.
My almost 3-year-old. How do you prepare?
To preschool?
My almost 3-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. You're so perfect. We have so many moms of 2-year-olds in the community. And by the way, we make subgroups for where you are. So like homeschooling preschool, homeschooling only children, homeschooling special needs, right? So anyway, you can connect with those other moms and a few dads in there who are in your subcategory, as well as being part of the bigger group. Homeschooling preschool is just one of the most loveliest things. You're going to love it so much. And I'm excited for you. I would suggest, was she asking for advice? I don't want to give advice if she wasn't asking. How do you prepare? Okay. You don't prepare. Really, the most important part about preschool is when your child asks you questions, you answer. You answer thoroughly. You make sure that their orientation to learning is that of wonder and joy and fun and cool. You go outside, you count sticks. Not really seat work, not much at all. I would say that with my children in preschool, we did do early counting and early phonics. So absolutely start on those two. But other than that, read out loud, beautiful books, not junk, beautiful books out loud, and go outside and have a blast. And don't work a lot per day either, like half hour, right? There is plenty of time. They've done studies on academically rigorous preschools. The latest study was done in Germany. And when you have a very, very young child do strenuous academics at a really early age, it backfires. You do not get better academic outcomes later on. You actually get more emotional stress, more anxiety, more burnout. It backfires. So don't feel like if your kid knows how to read when they're 3, that they're somehow going to be ahead of their peers. They're not. There are going to be some children who don't read till 8 and 9, and they could be more advanced than your kid. Doing those things early does not mean that you are like ahead of the game per se. Wouldn't you agree with that, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
L. Marie Parker. Want to make the change, but so scared. I don't even know why. My daughter's school is terrible.
Oh.
And then
it's Marie is her name?
L. Marie.
L. Marie. Okay, let's talk. L. Marie, first, grab my 26-page How to Homeschool guide. It's completely free. absolutely free. Grab that, read through it. You can do this. There is no one that knows your child more than you. The resources available at our fingertips are world class. You can absolutely do this. And also, after you get my guide and everything, and if you're still super scared, join my group. You can join it at half price until Thursday. I'm closing the doors after Thursday, but consider it, okay? Are you gonna homeschool in January? If you're gonna homeschool in January, you for sure should join now. Yeah, because it'll be double the price in the spring. Yeah.
It's Brittany. I've homeschooled before.
Hi, Brittany.
And didn't know where to begin or what to do. I put them in public school.
Okay, and how are you feeling, Brittany? Did you have a question?
I think she wants to do it again. She just doesn't know how and struggled last time.
Okay, Brittany, I want to know why you struggled last time. You might be a really good candidate for my group too. No pressure, but at the very least, look at the group description, and then also, would you email me? Because I want to get to the bottom of why it was a struggle last time. I believe you that it wasn't a fit for whatever reason, but if it really is your heart's desire to try again, let's make sure that you're really supported this time, okay? So email me.
She said I didn't know where to begin or what to teach.
Okay, we can help you with that. All in my group, we're talking about curriculum and all sorts of stuff, and we let it rip. Yes.
She says, what's your email? Thank you so much.
Yeah, my email is right in my link tree. You just click that button. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're going to email. Yay!
MJ's mama's, I want to homeschool so bad, but I'm afraid of not having the patience.
Okay. So the biggest myth, I think, of homeschool moms about our characteristics, one of the biggest myths is that we're patient. Double tap heart if you've been told, if you're a homeschool mom in here, double tap if you've been told, oh, you must be so patient because you homeschool. We get told that all the time. And that's the thing, is that we have our look at all these hearts. It's like insane. Yeah, we have our flaws. I am probably less patient than the average person, actually. And I'm just imperfect. I am imperfect and working on myself as I homeschool. Most moms would say, I'm not more patient than you. So, but I get it. I get what you mean. What I will say, because I think at the heart of it is that, which is true, that you're gonna have to make some tweaks if you were to homeschool. I will say you are correct in that. And I think that's maybe what you're getting at with I don't have the patience, because I will say that when you transition from public schooling or conventional schooling to homeschooling, as the parent, you do have to make some parenting changes. And sometimes those are a little bit challenging, but everyone I know would say it was so worth it. I'm a better mom because of it. Yeah, I had to work hard, but it was really worth it in the end. So I will say homeschooling is not for the faint of heart. You do have to, if you want to thrive while you're homeschooling, you do have to be on life's growth plan. You really do. If you want to just love the lifestyle, you have to dig in and try to be the best mom that you want to be and grow in that area. It has really challenged my parenting. It's been very humbling. I've made a lot of mistakes, but overall, I feel like I am a better mom because of homeschooling. I'm not saying that you're not a good mom if you don't homeschool. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that circumstances of homeschooling really have challenged me in a good way. Yes.
There's so many people who want to start and get going.
Okay. If you're interested in the group, you can ask all sorts of questions about the group tonight. The button in my bio, in my link tree, there's a button that explains the whole group, what a founding member is. The group is open until Thursday, then the doors close. So ask any questions that you want. I can even tell you if you're curious, I can tell you the history of how the group came about, because it's actually a pretty cool story, I think. So, but I won't tell it if you don't ask.
Shani McFarland, it just seems so overwhelming. I would be homeschooling so many different grades.
Yes, yeah. So There are tricks to homeschooling different grades. And what that is, and I'll just give you one, is you choose curriculum that's called Family Together curriculum. So what you do is, for example, for history, you're not teaching different grade levels. Think of the Little House on the Prairie, like one-room schoolhouse. You're doing that. People think every subject in school needs to be grade leveled. That is our progressive education. Children were never educated that way before 150 years ago. What caused that mentality is, I want you to hear this term I'm about to say, age segregation. Our kids are growing up in an age segregated system. And so because they need to be taught all the subjects, history, math, science, whatever, it's now age leveled. But before age segregation, kids weren't separated by grade level. So you can read an amazing book about history, and what a 5-year-old will get out of that book will be a lot different than what a 13-year-old will get out of that same book, but both will get something out of it. And maybe your preschooler is doing a coloring page, and your 5-year-old is doing a narration, and then your 13-year-old is doing an essay on the same chapter that you just read out loud. That is a beautiful way to school. And also, all the children learn from each other. It's not isolating. So I love teaching in this way. That's the secret to not burning out and tearing your hair out when you have a wide span of children. Also, if you have like big group, like say you have 6 kids and some are older, whatever, you can separate the two. Yeah. So was that helpful?
Awake but not woke. I love this advice.
Nicole. Hi.
TGC Creations, we finally made the decision to go from cyber charter to homeschooling. I have 2 IEP, ASD, ADHD kids.
Okay, good for you. And good. And so also I want to point out what a great addition that she just added, that online schooling, like cyber charters, that's not homeschooling. Homeschooling is a completely different thing. And so that's really cool that you already recognize that. Because during the pandemic, parents would say, "Oh, I tried homeschooling, never." And us homeschoolers would say, what you did wasn't homeschooling at all, like not even close. But we would do it in a really loving way. But anyway, that was just a little bit of a challenge during COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trina and Melanie are talking. They're in the group.
Oh, good. Trina and Melanie, good. And also, if I don't get to a question, can you help each other in the comments, please? Because I cannot. I have so many comments flying through. We try to get to as many as we can. But if you see me not being able to get to a question, please hop in. You guys are so experienced, so wise, so loving. Okay? I really would love your help.
It's Brittany says, "OMG, you're heaven sent. Thank you."
Oh, I want to be friends. You're so sweet.
Sarah Joe.
I'm glad you were encouraged tonight.
I have a 16-year-old who doesn't enjoy reading. Any suggestions?
A 6-year-old who does not enjoy...
16.
16-year-old who does not enjoy reading. Okay, there could be a lot going on. A lot. Yeah. So, I would want to know, have their eyes been checked first for any vision or tracking or any type of ocular motor dysfunction at all? I would want to know, is your 16-year-old having trouble with concept visualization? I'm stumbling over my words. So there could be a lot of reasons why a student does not enjoy reading. What I will say is humans enjoy story. So it's not because they don't like story. There's probably something going on with something not firing right, either in the eyes or in the brain or in something that's not working. And I would encourage you to try to get to the bottom of that.
Yep. Okay. Family Vaz. I have a senior in high school, 9-year-old, and an infant. I want to deschool myself.
Yes.
A 9-year-old. How do I start?
Oh my goodness, join my group. That's what we're doing in there. Oh, that would be wonderful to have you. But yes, it's a journey. It's a long process. And in many ways, it's never ending, but we try to tell ourselves the truth. So lots of discussions that we have are, what does it mean to be behind? Can a child be behind? Or maybe they can only be behind in some certain subjects, or maybe they're only behind based on what your priorities are. Asking these really abstract questions are pretty helpful. And so in our group, we do that. We do that deschooling work, but we also don't ignore this practical help. We give tons and tons of practical help in there too. Okay.
Dusty. Oh, Dusty. We are
Hi,
homeschooling,
Dusty.
but there are daily fears, daily
Yes.
tears
Oh.
from the kiddos and me.
Okay.
We're using an online course.
Okay. You might. Oh, honey. Oh, okay. Okay. We don't want tears. We don't. Oh, my first question that I would ask you is, which I think you're already getting at it. I actually don't think you needed me tonight. Rethink your curriculum. Yeah. So that's what I would say. There's something there that it's not a fit. It may be too hard. It may be too boring. It may be too long, taking too many hours in the day, lots of things. And there are really cool curricula options out there. Just amazing, fun stuff.
Yeah. Carolyn.
So good to see everybody. Come on in.
How can I foster independence between my twins at homeschool?
Yes.
They are super attached to each other.
Yes. I have twins too. I have had to teach them separately on some subjects. And it's been hard because I had this dream of being able to just combine them and make my life easier. And we will get there, and we've grown. But I have had to separate my twins. There's too much comparison. What page are you on? What number are you on? And that's not conducive to learning. That's not a healthy orientation to learning. So that's been something that I've really had to address and grow in it with myself, and teaching my twins. But I would start rewarding them. Since you asked my advice, I would start rewarding for small increments of independence. Even if they're really attached, even 5 minutes of independent work, starting there in separate rooms, and have really good, they're 6. I think they're 6, right? 6 years old?
I don't know.
Even at 6 years old, or if they're older, you can start having really wonderful conversations about, it's really fun to learn with your sibling, but we also want to be able to learn independently, and this is why. Believe it or not, kids at that age, they can, when you really package it to be age appropriate, they can, hi everybody, hi, okay, almost 5. They can really process that stuff when you give it to them in a way that's age appropriate. So, and if they're really young, it might not be an issue yet. It might be something that they grow out of too. But I understand your concerns. Yeah.
Sonia over on
Hi, Sonia.
Instagram.
Hi, Instagram. We're on 4 platforms tonight.
I'm new to following you, so I'm not sure how this question might sound dumb.
No, honey.
But my 8-year-old third grader is doing horribly in math. Me seeing the formula they use seems unnecessary. Struggling with math.
Yeah, just struggling with math. I would evaluate your curriculum, and that's where I would start. Yeah.
Great.
And no question is dumb. We are all trying our best, and everyone is in a new part of this journey. I would never want you to feel like a question is dumb and be scared to ask it. Ever, ever, ever.
Oh, Carolyn followed up with, they're almost 5.
Yeah.
How do I separate them, though? I want to help them be independent, but they resist.
Yeah, I would do it for very, very small increments and then give a reward. That's where I would start.
Yeah. Jess Kennedy, we are deschooling as we speak for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
I'm now finding things my kid wants to learn.
Oh, can we give hugs? Who's this?
Jess Kennedy.
Yeah, 2 weeks of deschooling, and she's discovering what her child wants to learn. And you're going to be able to foster that and have the time to allow your child to pursue that and fall in love with learning. That is so exciting.
Inchworm, why do or did you choose to homeschool?
Oh, there are so many reasons why Scott and I chose to homeschool. as you probably know my background, that I supported the educational system for 20 years. I've worked with thousands of students, K to college, from over 50 public and private schools. I would counsel parents, I would work with psychologists and therapists, admissions counselors, principals. At our center, we did tons of remediations, reading remediation, tons of SAT prep, ACT prep, all sorts of test prep. And so we were able to see firsthand what this road looks like. It wasn't like we had one kid in one grade and we were watching that one kid. So we started to see outcomes. We started to really wonder, are these kids happy? Are they successful? Do they love learning? And we started to ask ourselves these questions, and what helped is that we were in a community where parents were very wealthy and they could afford all the tutoring and all the help and all the remediation that their kid needed. So you would think that outcomes would be better, right? When you have unlimited resources. And that was not the case. And we started to see it. And we realized in our career of 20 years, we could probably count out of thousands of kids on one hand how many truly loved learning. And that started to bother us. Yeah. And everything was about the grade, about getting through tomorrow, about getting through the school day, finishing that. It was not about learning at all. I got to get the grades so I can get to college. It was more of, there's a book called this. It's more about doing school and not learning. And I just started to question it. And then it led me down the road to I read a lot of the homeschool intellectuals, got my hands on a lot of great writers, and then it was over. I was like, there's no way I'm putting my kids through the system. And also, when you read the history of compulsory schooling, I'm going to be going over a brief history in my book. I think it's the first chapter, if not the second chapter, the history of compulsory schooling in America. It's pretty frightening why it was even instituted in the first place. And what you will realize is that the system actually isn't broken. The system is working perfectly for what it was intended to do. And that intention, if I may, is to dumb kids down. I said it. Sorry, guys.
Melanie Smith.
John Taylor Gatto did write a book called Dumbing Kids Down, so I'm not alone. And he was a brilliant man.
What's your degree in?
I have degrees in, my master's degree is in history. Yeah.
How do you homeschool if mom and dad work?
Scott and I work. We work from home, though. We both work full time. Every family who has both parents working, they have different solutions based on their own situation. And also, it looks different depending on how old your kids are. So if you have a toddler and you're homeschooling, you're going to need to find some sort of a support or babysitting or something. My kids are now older where I don't need that. So it really looks different. What I will say is that what we have in common, working homeschool parents, what we have in common is when we really want to homeschool, is we think outside of the box and we get creative with, okay, I'm committed to homeschooling. So that might mean that I need to choose this type of a curriculum, not this one. And it might mean that I can't be in a co-op. If I need a drop-off day, for example. So like in where I live, you have there's co-ops here where the mom or dad is required to be there all day. And we also have some programs where at some local schools where it's like one day a week where it's a drop-off, where you can drop off your homeschool kid and they're there all day and you pick them up at 3, just one day a week. So things like that. Like as a working mom, I would have to do that because I can't volunteer all day at a co-op. So you have to say no to more. I will say you cannot do all the things that other homeschool moms do. So you have to prioritize. and hold on to the things that really matter. You have to make specific curriculum choices when you're a working homeschool mom. You definitely, one thing we all have in common is we work towards our kids being autodidacts pretty early. That is being self-taught. We buy curriculum where the child can open the page, or it tells them what page and where the lesson is, where they're not always looking at us. What page are we on, Mom? What are we doing today, Mom? We set up systems for our kids when we work so that when they wake up in the morning, they can start working. They don't need us. All sorts of things like that. That's how we do it. Yeah.
Jessica Smith over on IG. Do you have any suggestions for specific ACT prep? Oldest is in public, his choice, but others
Yes.
are homeschooled.
Yeah, I hands down like the way College Prep Genius does it. And she's in my link tree. And she happens to be an amazing woman of integrity. College Prep Genius. Their program is amazing. It's been around forever. It has the chops, the results, the statistics. I mean, that's what my kids are going to be doing. So yeah, look at her. That's who I trust. I taught test prep for 17 years, and she does it right.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Brandy is here, and she wants you to know.
Hi, Brandy. Crazy girl. I'm glad you're here tonight.
MA Double, do you use any online programs?
No, I do not use online programs, but I do utilize online academies with live classes, with live teachers. But I personally, at this time, do not use an online program for my homeschooling. But if you guys have one that you like, please comment. Who's slacking, Brandy? You're slacking.
I'm slacking.
Scott is?
Yeah.
I love it. I love that you give him such a hard time, Brandy.
She wanted me to tell you that she loves you.
Oh.
And I didn't do it.
Oh.
In time.
In time. I love you too.
Amber Wood, are there any legal measures we have to take with deschooling our children?
No. Okay, so overall the answer is no. However, you must withdraw your child from school legally. You have to always comply with your own state laws. So, if you live in a high regulation state, you might need to do some stuff. You would contact HSLDA to make sure that you are doing everything up to snuff, even to the point where you can call them and say, hey, I want to do a deschooling period. Can I do that in my state, and how long can I do that for? Okay, so definitely you have to homeschool legally no matter what. And I go through that step in my 26-page, it's free, How to Homeschool Guide. If you guys haven't grabbed that free guide, it's 26 pages. I go into a lot in there, not just for brand new homeschool moms. Like I go into what a loop schedule is. If you are currently homeschooling and you don't know what a loop schedule is, grab that guide because it might be a really cool thing that would help your homeschool.
Awake but not woke is just having great comments tonight.
Nicole, are you being sassy tonight?
No, she said, tell Christy thank you for being amazing. I'm off to tend the injured kiddo.
I know. Yeah, her son got hurt. I'm so sorry. Did he get my message?
Amber Wood
I hope he got my message.
Amber said, who did you say to contact? Sorry, I missed that.
HSLDA. And it's in my 26-page How to Homeschool Guide that is totally free. It's in there too. So. Yeah.
Brianna, what does your homeschool look like? And what materials do they need? Computers, iPads?
So, okay, to answer you and not in a snarky way, what you need to homeschool is a couch, a mom, and a book, ultimately. And you can do an amazing education with just that. But in terms, that's just to like conceptualize how to be successful. I think, are people joining the group? I'm hearing dings?
Yeah.
I think people are joining the group.
That's
Yay! Welcome. Hey, if you joined the group, put it in the chat here so that we can say welcome here in the chat, because I am hearing notifications. Yay! I'm so glad. Hearts! Yeah, and that way moms in here who are already in my community can welcome you and congratulate you. So please share if you did join tonight. Wait, I still want to answer her other question, which was, I got distracted.
Which was it?
What is my homeschool? Oh, what do you need? What supplies do you need?
Yeah.
I mean, pencils. I don't need nearly the amount of school supplies that I used to buy when I was a kid. A computer, because we do live Zoom classes through some homeschool academies. And I buy curriculum. I definitely buy curriculum. I don't like to reinvent the wheel. That should get you started.
Amber followed up with, I have a child asking for homeschooling due to bullying.
Oh.
The school will not take care of.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, grab my guide, okay? It's totally free. Grab that. And then email me after, okay? You guys that are really scared and you don't know what to do or even where to start, once you've downloaded my guide that's totally free, email me, will you? Like, look at me. I'm asking you to email me, and I will email you back and say, hey, I was on your live and I read the guide and these are now my questions. And I would love to email you back and help you, okay?
TGC Creation.
Not an empty offer, people. Okay.
TGC Creation says, when will you open up the group again?
Not till the spring. So the group is closing Thursday. It is not reopening until the spring, and it will be full price in the spring. So it will never be this price ever again. Because this is the founding members, which if you want to know what that means, go read up on it. You'll understand why it's half price.
I think Miss Anna joined the group.
Hi.
Yesterday.
Oh, good. Okay, so the people who joined yesterday, I have not had a chance to DM you yet. So, but that's coming because I message every single person that joins personally because I want to hear your. It's so funny because they probably are thinking, no, Christy doesn't want to like read my novel. I actually do. I want to hear your entire life story, how you got to homeschooling, how many kids you have, all the details. I love it. I love having a context for every single mom in the group. Yeah.
Laura Uribe says, sorry, how can I join?
It's in my link tree. Is it the first button?
Yes.
Okay. It's the very first button, and the group closes on Thursday. It's half off right now.
Kristen Shelton, I'm so thankful for you. You have helped lessen my anxiety in our homeschool journey.
Oh, Kristen. Thank you. Can we be friends? Will you email me? Please?
My daughter's
You're
5,
so sweet.
And I would make...
I have a feeling you can encourage me too, because you seem like an encourager.
My daughter is 5 and would make herself sick before school. Now... she loves being homeschooled.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful.
Jules is sweet. She said she does listen. She listened to me ramble my whole life story.
And I actually loved hearing it. Yeah. People think I don't want to hear, yeah. Like, I created this community because I didn't know you guys. Here I am on a live. I see TikTok handles and Instagram handles. I don't know your name. I don't know how many kids you have. I don't actually know you. I don't know your kids' learning profiles. I haven't read their IEPs. And I was like, okay, well, I do consultations, but they're pricey. And they should be because I spend so much time. And so we were trying to figure out how can we make mentoring and connection, which is what my heart's desire is to do. How can I make this affordable? And then someone mentioned, Christy, you should really be starting a community. And then I looked into it and I realized that was the answer. Because, you can only go so far on TikToks and Instagram Reels. You can't do the true dirty work there that I love doing, really having deep discussions and getting deep connections. You can't do that on social media. And consultations are just, a lot of people can't afford them. And that broke my heart that so many of you need help and couldn't get my help. And so this has been an answer to prayer, to be able to make access to really solid educational advice and mentoring and connection and learning at an affordable price. So that's why I did it. And already it's been incredible, just incredible. So I have a Zoom tomorrow. I'm onboarding Zoom tomorrow. We already have office hours scheduled next week. Office hours are when you come and you ask me any and all homeschooling questions that you have. It's over Zoom. We had a workshop last week, and so this week we have a discussion group on that workshop and what we learned and how we can kind of translate that and apply it into our lives. That's live as well with me and also in breakout rooms and stuff like that. So anyway, that's just kind of just a little bit a window into what we do in there.
Amanda just asked, what's the price?
Yeah, the price is $19.90 something. Yeah. And it's open until Thursday. So it's actually pretty incredible, the value. So the group is formulated to have the full price value already now, the full price that will be in the spring. So, I mean, what you get, like you can DM me anytime and I DM you back without having to pay for a consultation or even like a 15-minute call, which is what I used to have to do. So, and then if you really utilize the group and come to those workshops and come to those discussion groups and come to those office hours, that's potentially hundreds of dollars of value that you're getting per month for $20. So, yay, I am on. Hi, Tori. Yay! Hi, everybody. Welcome. Let us know if you've joined the group so we can welcome you if you joined my community.
Lizzie Lou says, I have a 3-year-old thinking of homeschool, but I'm not organized. I get triggered.
So, girl.
I think I would totally flop. Thoughts?
Lizzie, girl. I am constantly triggered. He's laughing because he knows. Here's the thing, Lizzie. You're perfectly imperfect. There is no one better that can teach your child than you. No one. No one knows your child better than you. And you know what? Okay, so if there's some things that you have to work on, join the club. Because I'm a hot mess myself, constantly working on my stuff, always apologizing to my kids for messing up. Every day I'm doing that. The homeschool mom is not the perfect mom. We are a work in progress, but we know that we can do it better than the system. So we do it. We do it with our hot mess selves, honestly. And we apologize to our kids when we mess up. Hey, I got triggered. Mommy lost self-control. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah, it has. Yeah, that just happened to me. Yikes. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me? So, right, ladies? Like we're imperfect. There's not a picture homeschool mom. We all have our stuff. Noise really overstimulates me. By the afternoon, I have to put on noise-canceling headphones. Repeated sounds really get to me, like tapping, and if they go like bark, 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 right, like impersonating a chicken, like it's like repeated sounds, just it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like we're normal moms that struggle with all the things, right? Am I getting hearts on this? Are you guys hot messes too, or is it just me?
Mrs. Good for Good, Patriot something. I'm afraid the system will tell me I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, they're going to tell you you're doing it wrong. Heck yeah. Because you're not going to do it like the system. So why? Okay, here. This might be a soapbox. Why would we pull our kids from the confines of a system that we know is failing and not working, and then replicate that same system at home? Why would we know it doesn't work and we know it's broken. So what we do at home, and what's this lady's name? Because I want to encourage her again. What was her name? Patriot, yeah. So what you do at home is hopefully looks like what is the right fit for you and your kids. So that's not going to look like what the public schools are doing. And that's kind of the point. But the public schools are not educating our children well. Only 37% of high school seniors are reading at a proficient level by the time they graduate high school. So who are they to even tell us how to do it? They're failing miserably. Whereas homeschool kids consistently score 15 to 30% higher than private and public school kids on the same standardized tests that those public school kids take. How do we know? Our kids have to take those same tests in a lot of states. I have to administer, like I choose the CAT test. I have to administer the CAT test to my kids, just like the kids in public school. So people say, oh, parents fudge the numbers on their homeschool kids. We have to give the same tests. The numbers aren't fudged. So to encourage you to say, yes, the system's going to tell you you're doing it wrong, and you're going to look back at them and go, like, you're doing it right? And that's one of the things we do in my community. It's like homeschool moms are always having to play defense, having to defend themselves. No, my kid is socialized. Oh no, we do go, my kid does have friends, or my kid's not behind, and we're constantly like defense, 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 defense. And I'm here to say, who's playing offense? Who's playing offense? We should be playing offense and say, no, the statistics show that 87% of peer-reviewed studies show that homeschooled kids are healthier socially. So stop accusing me of my kid not being socialized. And let's have a different conversation about the socialization that's happening in our schools. Because bullying has never been worse. 50% of girls in our schools are sexually harassed. Depression and anxiety is through the roof. So let's have the conversation about socialization, shall we? Sorry. I got a little. Okay. He's nodding that it was okay. I get on these tirades sometimes on the lives, and I'm really sorry. But I get really mad. And when I was talking to my publisher, this was one of the things that I was saying when we're talking about the book that I'm writing. It's like, no. It's time. It's time that homeschooling is considered a valid choice across the board in our nation. It is not fringe anymore. It's not fringe, right? Oh, who feels seen? Do you
see? JIK. She said that's why I joined the group. I feel seen.
Yes, you feel. Oh my goodness. That is so sweet. That's exactly what I wanted. Oh, I'm so glad you're in. And I know, yeah, Jules. Yeah, exactly. All day long in school, you're told not to socialize. Stop talking, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mother Quacker. Hello, my name is Bess, and I just joined the group. Your TikTok has kept me sane.
Yay, Bess! Oh my goodness. Okay, when DM me right away and say I'm Bess from your live. And are you going to be Bess in the group? Are you Bess, or is that a nickname? Because I want to be able to like connect the two.
We'll see.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you joined. I'm so excited to have you.
And Elena just joined.
Elena, welcome. Yay!
Oh, Amber, this is the exact reason I want to pull my child. I'm crying.
Yes, Amber, join my group. It's so cheap right now, and the doors close Thursday. We can help you. It is a non-judgment zone. This group is so wonderful. If you join tomorrow, you can be in my onboarding Zoom where I talk about what the group is, the vision, and what our healthy boundaries are to make it a really, really safe place for everyone. And it really is so, so special. It is like nothing that has ever been done before. And it's really what we need. So.
Yeah, Tori was just asking if you can talk about it a bit.
The group?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to know, Tori? Do you want to know the history of the group? Or do you want to know like what the community is?
Inspiration 7 wants to know how can I be added to the group?
Yeah, so the group is in my link tree. It is the very first button, and you can read all about what it means to be a founding member. So Okay, let me just talk. I don't think tonight I've talked about what it means to be a founding member. So basically, I started this group because someone brought to my, I was very frustrated because I felt like I wasn't really connecting with you guys and being able to mentor you like I wanted to. You can only go so far on TikToks and on social media, right? Because if I was to do true mentoring videos, they'd get like 0 views, right? And I'm trying to reach people to convince the world that homeschooling's amazing. So it's like it was just this really hard thing, and my heart is to mentor you guys. I've taught teachers my entire career. I've worked with principals, therapists, counselors. We homeschooled I've been homeschooling for 20 years. I homeschooled other kids before I homeschooled my own. And we've taught thousands of kids, K to college, from private and public schools. I mean, the list goes on. And so when I had my deconstruction and my reconstruction about the system, and we decided to home educate, I was like, this is a whole different way of thinking about education, just a whole different way. And it took me a while to deschool myself. It really did. And it's still an ongoing process. But anyway, back to the group. So basically, I offer consultations, but quite frankly, for every consultation, they're usually pretty complicated cases where I'm reading IEPs, and they take like 4 to 5 hours, and that can be really pricey. And a lot of moms who could really use my help couldn't afford it. And that broke my heart. And I'm thinking, okay, how can I know these people? How can I meet them, help them, know them, build community with them? And someone said, Christy, you should start a community. And then I looked into the different ways that communities they function. So there's all different types of communities. And I realized this was it. This was it. So that it was conceptualized, and then people had suggested to me to start with a founding members period, which is a time where you're joining early. You're the very first people. It's closing this Thursday. And that way you have like a foundational group to really build this thing up together to make it what it's going to be. So at this time, it's great and there's a ton of value, but it's not quite the well-oiled machine that it's going to be in the spring, right? So like tonight, I posted a Zoom for tomorrow. In the future, you're going to know your Zooms way ahead of time. But, it's because we're kind of in the founding members. I'm still getting tons of feedback from people. And so you're kind of agreeing to start this with me and work out the kinks with me. That's why I'm offering it for half price. And it will be half price forever for you, as long as you are in the group. Your price isn't going to be raised ever. So the doors close Thursday. And then in the spring, when there's the official launch, when the group is really just a well-oiled machine and fancy schmancy, in the spring, the doors will reopen, but it will be full price. So right now is a window to kind of get in. And plus, you have more FaceTime with me in the beginning too. I'm doing a lot more Zooms with the founding members so we can get to know each other. And it's just been absolutely fabulous. Just a wonderful, the women in there and a couple men are just the most loving people. It's a place where you find your people. So if you want to know more about it, go to the link in my bio and read up on it and ask me more questions. I hope that was. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know what the monthly membership is.
Yeah, it's $20. It's $20, and you're probably getting several $100s worth for $20. And then in the spring, when the doors open again, it's going to be $40. That's like the normal price. So, yep. Very affordable, especially for what you get, because just take a look at what my consultation price is and just kind of do the math on, when you have a homeschool question, you're going to get to hop on office hours with me and we're going to talk. So you can absolutely get so much value out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody asked about BJU curriculum.
Yeah. So Bob Jones is considered a traditional homeschool curriculum. What that means is it's basically public school at home. I do know that's a Christian curriculum though, but It's basically public schooling style at home. There's nothing wrong with it. It's one of the 6 styles of homeschooling. There's a lot of reasons why you would choose a traditional approach to homeschooling your kids. There are benefits and drawbacks to all 6 of the homeschooling styles. The benefit to doing a traditional style at home is if you ever plan on matriculating your kids back into the school system, it'll go up without a hitch because you kind of kept them on the state standards track. That is a benefit. And a drawback to doing that type of a curriculum program is that it can be really exhausting and draining, and it can lead to burnout. So that is something to keep in mind with curricula options like that. They can also be pretty pricey.
Amanda Tinney says $20 USD, correct? And can Canadians join?
Yes, we have Canadians. We have Canadians in there already. Yes, we would love to have you.
Tori.
It's an incredible value. Yeah, just look at the description to see what you get. I didn't even talk about the deliverable that you're getting every month. You're getting a deliverable. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even touched on like everything that we're doing in there. It's $20 is an incredible value, which I did on purpose because I really wanted to bless the founding members for being willing to start this with me. And I really appreciate it. Already, you guys have been amazing and so patient with me.
Desiree says, can I still be a member if I'm using a Becca? I'm wishing to learn more about homeschooling.
Yes, we are not a curriculum group. We are a homeschool mom support group. There are moms in there using a Becca. Absolutely. So yes, please join. That'd be wonderful. It'd be great to have you.
Gina Perez, thoughts on K-12? I have 3 autistic children and nothing has worked.
Okay, have you tried K-12 yet? I don't know if K-12 is going to work either. Right, babe?
I don't know. That's probably going to be tough.
It's probably going to be tough.
She hasn't tried it yet.
Okay. I think it might be tough. People usually don't stay with K-12. Sorry, K-12.
Jackie asks,
yeah.
So is this group mostly for connection and social interaction?
No, that is definitely a component, but it is a mentoring community. So as well. So we have workshop. There's a theme every month. For example, this month was how to thrive, not just survive the holidays. So I taught a workshop. And so there is a workshop every month regarding a theme. Different themes we're doing. Usually in February, homeschool moms get really burnt out. We're going to have a workshop on being burnt out. We're going to have a parenting expert come in. We're going to have a therapist come in a couple of times to talk about what self-care really means. So every month there is a workshop, which is basically a little class that you take. Now, at the same time, this group is not a stressful group where you feel like you're inundated with stuff to do. This is about being life-giving for you. So everything that we offer, it's put through the lens of, does this make homeschooling easier and more life-giving? And if it does, then it passes the test. Also in the group are office hours, which is a face-to-face Zoom with me. It is a group setting. And you are able to get on there with Zoom and ask any homeschool questions that you want. So it's basically like a group consultation that's included in your price. The workshops are included in your price. These aren't extra things. This is part of your and then I mentioned office hours. We also have discussion groups. We're having one this week on the workshop. And those are guided discussions. And then there's tons of threads and community in the group. So whatever phase you are in with your homeschooling, I don't know if you have a single child. We have a group, a subgroup of homeschooling onlys. We have homeschooling preschoolers. We have homeschooling junior high, that type of a thing. So it is connection as well, but it is an advice, right? You get advice if you ask for advice. Advice is not allowed to be given unless it is asked for. But a lot of moms are in there like, what do you think of this curriculum? And then there's like 20 answers. Whereas even when you're not live with me, you're getting one answer. but you're going to get 20, right, of moms who've tried it. We have mentors that I have hired. I have a team of mentors in there that are constantly in the threads helping you. And by their name, it says mentor. So you know that this is a person that is part of my team as well. And I'm also in the threads. You also get to DM me whenever you need to, and I DM back. So it is not a social group. However, when you go deep like we do with asking yourselves the good questions, you end up getting those connections too. So that is going to be a wonderful benefit of the community, is you're going to be able to make really good friendships as well, which I've already seen start to happen. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. So I am a 20-year professional educational expert and thought leader in the homeschool space. So it's a mentoring group. Yeah, it's not a social group.
Oh, or Amanda, she says she's burnt out already.
Amanda!
Yeah.
You're in the group already, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
I have 2 Amandas in the group.
No, this is the one from Canada who wanted to know if...
Oh, no, don't get burnt out. We need to talk. I do hope you join.
And people are also asking about how does special needs work in the group? Is there a component of that?
Yeah, so I am bringing in regularly, I will be bringing in a specialist to help with special needs. And there is also a subgroup in my group that is homeschooling kids with special needs, so that you can be together and having your own threads as well, that I'm also in and viewing too. So, because keep in mind, I have read thousands of IEPs myself. I am very accustomed to teaching kids with all sorts of learning profiles. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay. Oh, HG, how do you handle seasons that throw off your rhythm for a week, like illness or
I know.
mental health?
It's so hard. It really is. It's hard. I would say that what gives me sanity in those hard seasons, like if you travel and you totally get off schedule, or if you all get sick, sometimes when kids are sick, they can still do a little bit of work, I try to, if things are crazy, I try to still make sure they're doing math and that I'm reading out loud. And some days that's what I have to do when it's a crazy season. But that is really hard, really, really hard. And there's lots of things that you can do to have a plan in place for those seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're to be expected, right? So
yeah,
life, I think one of the promises in life is that it doesn't go perfect.
Yeah, right.
So our homeschooling won't either, right? Yeah.
Inspiration 7. I love that. Can the membership be canceled if it's not beneficial?
Yeah, you can cancel it anytime. I don't want you in there if you're not liking it. And there wouldn't even be hard feelings. Because I think what I'm doing in there is pretty cool. I love it. But if it doesn't float your boat, I don't want you in there. You can go. Absolutely.
Jackie. Oh, Jackie. Thanks for being patient, Jackie.
Jackie, you were so patient. Are you still here?
She was asking.
Jackie.
She says, do you still mentor teachers? She's been asking about, anything to say to teachers. What's your message to teachers, and do you mentor teachers?
Oh, I don't mentor classroom teachers anymore. But yes, you followed me. Yeah, I have taught teachers my entire career, but now the teachers that I teach are homeschool moms. Yeah.
Tori asks, can you pause a membership?
Oh, can you in there?
I think if you pause the founding members, you would lose that discount.
Yeah.
But then you can pause it if you want.
You can? Is there a button in there for that?
I don't know.
Okay. I gotta look and see if there's a button for that. But I don't think we'll pause the founding members one. That doesn't seem fair. Okay.
Do you have an idea of charter school homeschooling?
An idea of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have a charter school here that does homeschool day programs. It's like a 1 day a week enrichment. Yeah, does your state have that too?
Did I ask you how do you handle seasons that throw off your rhythm?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got that one. Okay.
And then have her just keep track of the one that asked for about charters.
Okay. Thoughts on part-time public school and part-time homeschool, Angela?
Part-time, but yeah, if I support all homeschooling. So I have a lady that I know that homeschools, and her kid just really wanted to do PE, and they made an arrangement with the school that the kid can still do PE. I think that's great. So it really depends on your motivation for why you're homeschooling. So, and it could absolutely be a fit. It really could. Yeah.
She followed up with, yes, so in Southern California through River Springs Charter School in Temecula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, California has quite a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love this question. Jules. Oh, what was your aha moment?
Is this Jules? Or a different one? Rooted?
I don't
Is
know.
it Rooted?
I
Okay.
don't know this one.
My aha, with what? Like what made me want to homeschool?
Let's see if she follows up. Jackie.
I can just answer.
Oh, she said yes.
With homeschooling, I think it was my aha moment was when I was at a homeschool convention and I went into a woman's seminar, and she happened to have been a Charlotte Mason homeschool speaker. And I was just curious. I didn't know all the styles yet. I was just curious. And she started talking about what a living book is. I never in my life had I even heard the term living book. And she was talking about how she teaches history through living books. And I'm thinking, how can you teach history without a textbook? I have a master's degree in history. And so I was like, what? You're teaching history? How can you learn all the history without a textbook? There's going to be holes. There's going to be this. And she just kept talking about what the purpose of learning history is. And it was as if scales were just taken off of my eyes. In that 45 minutes, it forever changed the way I viewed education in general, and specifically with how to teach history. My kids have never touched a history textbook, even the popular homeschool ones. And it's okay if you love textbooks. It's just, that was my aha moment. And I realized my kids will never get living books if I put them in the system, even in a private school. And what they can do and how living books can transform your life is just, you can't even count that in words. And so I would say that early on, that is one of those quintessential moments where I can still picture myself sitting there just listening to this woman, and I just wanted to go to dinner with her. Yeah.
Let's see. Homeschool Mama Chantel says, hello, Christy-Faith and everyone.
Hi.
Irish Jim says, is it okay that I mix and match styles?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I'm an eclectic homeschooler. So are you. Yay! Nice to meet you. We're both eclectic. I pull from the style. Of course, I definitely lean towards Charlotte Mason style for history, right? But I pull from all the different styles, just whatever resonates with me.
We're getting a lot of living book questions, and we're going to get to them.
Okay, we'll get to the living book questions.
Jackie follows up.
Oh my goodness, they want me to talk about living books? Okay, do we have 2 more hours? I'll talk about living books forever.
And then Aubriana's hanging out on YouTube, and we're going to get to you, Aubriana. But Jackie follows up with, I have a lot of Christian friends at homeschool. Is any of this or your inspiration faith-based?
Okay, is any of... As she drinks her sidecar.
Is any of this or your inspiration faith-based?
Okay, yeah, let me answer that. Scott makes a special drink, and it is so stinking delicious. It's really just juice. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, so you're laughing. Is it not just juice? Oh, it's strong?
Yeah.
Okay. What is her first name that asked me?
That was Jackie.
Jackie.
She had the teacher questions too.
Yeah. Oh, Jackie. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad you're here tonight. So, Jackie, I am a Christian. I am a very strong Christian. I have always been. And however, is however the right word? In my professional life, I have never, my company that I ran, that I owned, it wasn't a Christian company. I just happened to be a Christian running that company with Christian values and integrity. So my group is non sectarian. And that is very, very important. So my group is not only for Christians and my group is not only for atheists. We actually have we have Mormons, Christians, atheists, Jewish people. We have everything in my group. It is non-sectarian. So this is one of the things that I'm going to talk about tomorrow in my onboarding Zoom is that we support who you are. Okay? Because keep in mind, my background is in education and is in solving the educational problems of the system. This is what I did for 20 years. And I advised principals and counselors and parents. I taught my teachers. I taught hundreds of teachers. And in like educational practices and that type of thing. So in my group, in being non-sectarian, what that means is that you are never to be ashamed of who you are, and nor will I. So you are in my group and you will say, hey, I want a faith-based history curriculum. What do you guys recommend? And people will help you. And you say, someone else might say, hey, I need a secular science curriculum. What are some good options? And we will all help you. So it is not a one or the other group. We support you. And there is no bullying or hate speech allowed for your belief system in my group, no matter what you are. And that's a very comfortable place for me to navigate because that was the professional world that I come from anyway. So the book that I'm writing is also not a religious book. And that's one of the reasons why the publisher wanted me, because a lot of the homeschooling books on the market are faith-based that don't, and the movement in our country, it's not only Christians who are homeschooling. This is a revolution. This is a massive movement. And so they liked my background, and of course they haven't asked me to compromise my beliefs either. So
Desiree asked, what time would the Zoom be tomorrow?
The Zoom tomorrow is 1 Mountain. That's the onboarding Zoom. There's another onboarding Zoom on Wednesday at noon. You have 2 options next week. And we have an office hours next week. We have a workshop next week. Yeah.
Tina asks, I love the idea of homeschool, but worry if I could mentally handle it.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
That is a lot of people's fears, that you really want to do it, but you don't think you have what it takes. You're worried about not being able to handle it. You're worried about not having any alone time, or that you might lose your temper with your kids and you don't want to do that, and lots of fears. You guys, can you support this mama in here? What were your fears? And how have you dealt with those? What I will say is that homeschooling has really put me in a position where I have had to work on myself, simply because I don't get a 7-hour break from my kids. Now, do I get breaks for my kids? Yes. I set healthy boundaries and I get breaks for my kids, but I don't get a 7-hour break where I can go to work out and then go to therapy and then go to brunch with my friends and then get a facial and then, right? I still get a facial, but I just, you know what I'm saying? So it's, in that sense, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for people who aren't interested in becoming better parents, which it sounds like you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be on this live or asking the question. But it is something for you to know. I recently did a video on the downsides of homeschooling, and I did talk about this, that you can be miserable homeschooling if you don't really dig and do the work. What do you ladies think? What's your take on that? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Aubriana.
Hi, Aubriana.
She's over on YouTube. It's her second year homeschooling. I have an 11-year-old, 9-year-old, 2-year-old. My 9-year-old is dyslexic and really behind.
Okay.
School is hard for him. We all get burnt out lately, and he says he hates school.
Okay.
He says it's because it's hard because he struggles, and I'm not sure what to do.
Yes, it is hard. So the first thing that I would advise is reevaluate your curriculum choice for him. And I also would want to know where he is with his reading. Just from the professional background, I would want to know where exactly he is in his reading. Why school, I would want to get to the bottom of why school is hard, because kids with dyslexia, there's all sorts of different things they can struggle with when they have dyslexia. And so I'd want to get to the bottom of that. But what I will say is that it is so important that kids who have special needs, that we do really search to find curriculum options that are life-giving to them and that make learning fun for them. And sometimes if learning is just plain hard, we have to keep it fairly minimal in terms of like the basics, and then make sure that they have amazing interests that they're allowed to pursue. I think that is so important for kids who are differently wired, is finding that and it could take a while to find the hobby, or the, whether it's guitar or outdoor survival or archery, or it could take a while to find that. But for kids where school is always a struggle, and I'm not sure, see, I don't know his profile, I wish I could read his IEP. For kids like that, where everything is kind of just hard, it's so important to find those outlets where they feel successful and that they love and that they can really just dig in. So yeah, but I would reevaluate your curriculum. Wouldn't you agree, babe?
Yeah, they're using master books. They're doing third grade level, but he's reading at a first grade level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would reevaluate curriculum. And I want to talk about his reading. Yeah. There's ways to tackle the reading to get him. See, this is the thing. It's going to be really hard for you. You need to get the reading you need to get the reading. Yeah.
She says yes. How do I find that?
What I would look at is go online right now. You can even leave the live right now and go to Barton reading. It is an Orton Gillingham based method, and it is a little bit intense. It's a little bit intensive, but it sounds like that might be a fit for him. Now, I don't know you, okay? So I literally don't know you. I have not read his learning profile. I have not read an IEP if there is one, or his psychoeducational assessment, okay? This is what I'm telling you that is common advice for kids who have dyslexia that are struggling to read, is often they get the help they need with Barton. So are people joining? I think people are joining the group. Yay, welcome. If you've joined, let me know. I want to welcome you here. Will you go to Barton? And then what I want you to do is I want you to email me. You don't have to join my group for me to email you back, okay? I want you to email me. I want to help you. And go to Barton Reading first, and then come back and email me. And you can, in all of my socials, in my link tree, there's a little button that says email. I want to help you, and I think that Master Books is not a fit.
Okay, we should get back.
And I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be encouraged because you're just at a crossroads. That's all. You're at a crossroads and you need help, and it wasn't an accident that you were on my live tonight. Okay? So I want you to look at Barton, and then I want you to email me, and we're going to email back and forth, okay? I remediated kids like your son my entire career.
We should probably go soon.
We have to wrap up?
We've been going a while.
Okay.
But we should get to the living books, because we did promise the living books.
Did we promise the living books? discussion. What do they want to know about living books? Because they can just hit the go button. I'm feeling like I want to put my hair up. What do you guys want to know about living books? Let's talk about living books.
Just what is it? Why do you like them?
Okay. What is a living book? A living book, people define living books all differently, but basically a living book is a book that is primarily written by a expert in a field or an eyewitness or like a biographer that is specialized in that genre of writing. And they are generally stories that are very, very deep, that bring characters to life, where you get enthralled in the story and you cannot help but be changed through reading it. So if you've ever read a book and when you put it down, you were thinking about that book for 2 hours after, you probably were reading a living book. And we already know this about they've done studies on this, that humans remember what has emotionally impacted them. So when we're talking about teaching kids history, are you really emotionally changed and impacted when you're reading a textbook? You're not. You're given facts and you're given cause and effect, and then you're asked comprehension questions, and then you're quizzed and you're tested. And maybe you have to write an essay, but still you're regurgitating information. Whereas when you have read a living book, you remember vivid details about, like say you're reading a living book on history. You are remembering vivid details about historical events because you lived through them through the characters that you were reading. So you can learn history through fiction. I know. And true history you can learn through fiction, because in historical fiction, you can have fake characters, imaginary characters that went through true historical events. And so it is the Charlotte Mason concept of exposing our children to living books, and it's transformed our life. I generally don't give my kids twaddle to read. Twaddle is like those things like Babysitter's Club and Goosebumps and those types of books. I generally don't give them that because I want their taste to be really refined in terms of literature. I think people are joining like crazy. It's awesome. Welcome to the community, everybody. So anyway, and I just love living books. I was doing videos for Beautiful Feet Books because I approached them. I love their curriculum. And so I said, hey, I'd love to bring the concept of living books to my TikTok audience, and they agreed and let me do it. And so anyway, yeah, living books.
Oh, B. Kayla asks a question. She's in the group.
You are in the group. I recognize you.
She says...
you can DM me your question.
She can.
Yes.
But since we're here,
I'll answer you now.
I want to know if eventually toward high school, if we should have a textbook to make sure there's no holes.
Okay. Oh, I love that you asked this. Okay, here's the thing. Think about holes. Think about holes for a second. 1, going through school, did you ever finish a textbook, a history textbook? Probably not. It probably was pretty rare if you did. Okay, so here we're talking holes. 2nd, when you were going through textbooks, going all through school, and you were given a unit test and you were tested on something on a Friday, did you really remember it on Monday? Because I didn't. I have a master's degree in history, and I barely remembered what I was tested on and knew a ton about before a final, or even in grad school. So here's the thing. That thing about holes is a myth, because you're assuming that we're remembering everything. And so you're not, especially in history, you're not remembering everything that you're tested on. One would argue that when you are using living books, you have fewer holes because of your emotional connection to the events, that you remember more history. So, and the other cool thing, which I love philosophizing about hole gaps, it's impossible to not have gaps in history. It's just impossible. You don't remember everything. And when you think about the purpose of learning history, the purpose of learning history is not to regurgitate facts. The purpose of learning history is to learn from the past and to be changed and to be warned and to become better people because of the lessons that history can teach us. So, but what the industrialized school system has led us to believe is that learning history is about learning facts, because we need to know. Why do we need to know the reasons for the fall of the Roman Empire? We just kind of regurgitate those. But like, we're never really asked, well, what about our society? Do we have similarities? Like those really good questions. So learning history, this is my opinion, and people might disagree with me, and that's okay. I would rather my kids learn fewer historical events and be changed deeply and know a lot about snippets of historical events rather than having a survey. Their brain has a survey of all the events. That's my preference. So it's that whole concept of it's better to go a mile deep and only an inch wide than going a mile wide and only an inch deep. It's better in my philosophy, it's better to know a lot about a little than to know just a little bit about a lot, because you become changed when you can go deep in something. That's when you're truly changed in your education. So what a fun discussion. Man, I wish we were at coffee right now, like just sitting in front of a fire somewhere, just talking about this, you and I. It's such a cool thing to think about because it really reframes how our society views teaching history and why our society uses textbooks. So isn't that cool? It's like just so fun to talk about. Okay. Did that not land well? Are people disagreeing with me?
No.
Okay.
Love it.
All right.
Joe Schmo says, do you have any suggestions for living books for 7 and 9-year-olds? I tell them just go to your link tree and go to Beautiful Feet.
Yeah, go to my link tree. Companies that do living books, of course, Beautiful Feet Books, which is in my link tree. A secular company that does living books is called Build Your Library. Also, you can look at The Good and the Beautiful curriculum, Simply Charlotte Mason, and Ambleside Online. So they are all, you'll find all sorts of book lists that are living books based on like historical time periods and for your kid's age. Yeah.
Tori says, we gotta go soon. She says, I gotta know if we don't start homeschool until July, should I join now? I want to be sold, Christy. She said.
Oh my goodness.
She's been pretty great the whole time.
Oh, you're so wonderful. Do the math, because in July it will not be $20. So do the math. If it's better, I can't do the math in my head right now. I'm too tired. Anyway, you'll learn a ton, but ahead of time. But I'm not like salesy schmalzy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like I don't want you to buy something that you don't need. Right? Like I'm not going to like force you into. So, and I certainly don't want you to waste your money. I'm not everyone's cup of tea either.
She says, I'm a business coach, my friend. We need to chat. Well.
I'm not. I have never, you know what? Yeah. We do need to chat.
Natalie, I need to move my girls from the homeschool we're in to yours. I always enjoy your convo and thought. Natalie.
Do you want to trade? Can I drop my girls off at your house and you can teach them one day a week so I can work? Where do you live? Yeah. All right. Well, you guys are so fun. Have we been on like a really long time?
I think a long time.
All right. If you guys have any Tori, Doherty, you are hilarious. Yes. Oh my goodness. You guys are so sweet. And someone is named Peppermint Natty, which is telling me that we need to eat our peppermint bark dosage tonight.
Done.
I gotta go. I need to eat peppermint bark. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. If you have questions about my community, go to my link tree. It closes Thursday. You will not be able to get in after Thursday. And it will never be half off ever again. So if it's of interest to you at all, join. Just click on the link to see if it's an interest to you, if it's something that you could benefit from, and because it's all the details are there, okay? And that's it. I think we're gonna go and watch a movie, are we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Love you guys. I can't wait to meet you in the community. I'll be DMing you tomorrow, and then I'll be Zooming with you tomorrow at the enrollment Zoom.
One more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
Integrity says, how do you organize your homeschool days? I'm just 3 years in.
Okay. How do I organize my... Why do you ask? You said we needed to go.
I know,
That's like a 10-minute answer.
I know. Just have her email you, because we got to eat peppermint bark.
Will you email me? And then I'll answer you. And then say, hey, I'm the one where you couldn't answer me because you had to go eat peppermint bark. And you want to know how I organize my school day? Okay. Tell me the age of your kids first. I know you've been homeschooling 3 years. Tell me the age of your kids, and I'll answer you.
People are asking for their book recommendations, and I just said Amazon store.
Yes. And if the business coach is still here, she's going to hate what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, business coaches, listen to this. So I have an Amazon store, but I don't care. I don't care if you buy it from me. I made the Amazon store so that it's really easy for you to find my book recommendations. I make 10 cents, 20 cents off of a book. So you don't have to, you can use my this is what you're going to hate hearing, business coach. Just use my Amazon store for a book list and take it to the library and get the books for free.
Thanks, Tori.
I love it so much. Okay, we need to be best friends, business coach. Alrighty. Good night, guys. I love you. I really do. This was a blast tonight. I cannot wait to see you on the other side in my community tomorrow. Okay? All right.